today and what will become Hurricane Imelda. So this morning, Floridians waking up to a tropical storm watch in place. This goes all the way up the East Coast towards Daytona Beach, and unfortunately, this is eventually going to be a hurricane. The good news is we are not going to have a direct landfall, but having a Category 1 hurricane sitting off the East Coast is going to bring in some impacts in and of itself. All the way through Thursday, this is going to be off the East Coast, producing those intense beach conditions and also bringing in some really intense rainfall at the coast.
Fox Weather's Berta Merwin. Meantime, Hurricane Humberto was intensified into a powerful Category 5 storm. That's bringing dangerous surf and rip currents to the northern Leeward Islands, the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda. President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu set to meet again at the White House tomorrow.
It comes as Trump says the U.S. is very close to reaching a ceasefire and hostage deal in Gaza. The 21-point deal calls for Israeli troop withdrawals, humanitarian aid, and temporary international control of the Gaza Strip. Right now, it's not clear where Netanyahu stands on any potential deal.
Fox's Marianne Rafferty. The meeting also coming as more nations recognize Palestinian statehood, a measure both Netanyahu and President Trump say is a reward, they think, for the terrorist group Hamas. 3 people dead, 8 others hurt after a shooter on a boat opens fire at a waterfront bar last night in North Carolina. The gunman ID'd, police say, is 39-year-old Nigel Edge, attacked around 9:30 p.m. before fleeing in his boat. Some 30 minutes later, the Coast Guard detained him at a nearby ramp. Edge faces 3 counts of first-degree murder among the charges. America's listening to Fox News.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
I'm Janice Dean, Fox News senior meteorologist and host of the Janice Dean Podcast. Join me every Sunday as I focus on stories of hope and people who are truly rays of sunshine in their community and across the world. Be sure to subscribe to the Janice Dean Podcast at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And don't forget to spread the sunshine.
America's listening to Fox News. From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
This is Jason Chaffetz from the Jason in the House podcast. Join me every Monday to dive deeper into the latest political headlines and chat with remarkable guests to hear their take on American life, politics, and entertainment. And don't forget, there's always somebody doing something stupid somewhere.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com
or wherever you download podcasts.
Must listen to podcasts from Fox News Audio.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A Springport man killed by a vehicle. Sunny and 75 degrees. I'm Jake McDaniel. Here's what's trending at 11:03. Henry County deputies arrived on a county road yesterday afternoon and found Robert Parks, who died at the scene. Investigators say Parks suffered a medical problem, which caused him to fall into a shaded area of the road, where he was then hit by a vehicle. The driver was not hurt, and detectives are looking into this. Hancock County is doing something life-saving for their area fire departments. Here's Jarrett Lewis.
County leaders announcing that they recently purchased 13 Lucas CPR devices so that all of their local departments have an extra set of hands to administer CPR to someone if needed.
What it does is it allows the responders to not have to do manual CPR, which helps with responder fatigue, and the patient gets a higher quality CPR for a longer duration of time.
That's Hancock County 911 Director John Jacantis. He said the devices are able to give consistent chest compressions for a better chance of survival from a cardiac event. Jarrett Lewis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And the Indiana Fever are now 1 loss away from seeing their season end after they lost to the Las Vegas Aces Friday 84-72 in Game 3 of the WNBA semifinals. Game 4 is today at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and the tip-off is at 3 o'clock. Pre-game coverage 15 minutes before that on 93 WIBC. And news time is 11:04. Here's the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly sunny, warm, but not too humid for today. High temperatures will be checking in mid to upper 80s tonight. Mostly clear. Low temperatures in the upper 50s. On Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Jake McDaniel on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Retirement isn't just about reaching the finish line. It's about knowing how to play the next movement. Without a plan, your savings can feel like noise instead of music. I'm Jason Hutchins with Guardian Wells Financial. I've seen too many families head into retirement without the guidance they need. That's why I wrote Orchestrate Your Retirement, a guide to composing a financially tuned plan. I'd like to mail you a copy at no cost. Call 317-660-0929. That's 660-0929. Inside this book, you'll find real-world strategies on turning savings into income, making smarter Social Security decisions, and reducing a bite of taxes in retirement. Call 317-660-0929. That's 660-0929 for your book today. Don't wait. Supplies are limited, and when they're gone, they are gone. Orchestrate your retirement. Discover the rhythm of a confident future.
Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. Guardian Wealth Financial is not affiliated with Creative One Wealth or with any government agency. Licensed insurance professionals.
Call 317-660-0929.
Oh, that's so, I love that you yoo-hooed. Denny Paul. Hi, everybody. Yoo-hoo. I love the drink. I do. I have it all in cartons in my refrigerator, always. I'm talking about yoo-hoo the drink.
We went to the Atlanta Fest yesterday. We got some.
It's continuing today.
Raspberry jalapeno wine from the Woolly Yak Farm.
So good.
That had a bite to it. I was trying to tell Kielynn about it. It was sweet, but then all of a sudden the hammer hit.
So
Here comes the
good.
jalapeno.
Denny doesn't like stuff that's too spicy, too hot.
I'm all right.
A little burn, but it is delicious. And yes, the Atlanta New Earth Day Festival continues. Or New Earth Festival.
New Earth Festival, 52nd annual.
52nd annual, and you can even ride the train from Noblesville to Atlanta during this little festival.
Of 600 booths total, 400 mom and pops.
It's really cool.
It is really cool. It doesn't cost you a fortune. And our thanks to Jennifer Farley and the staff. She's the town manager there in Atlanta. 750 people grows to 80,000.
It's amazing.
That's a lot of people.
It is. So that's why you might want to take the train, and it's just super fun.
You got on the train yesterday.
I got on the train just to see what the train looked like. It's the old nickel plate railroad, and it's a cool train.
Taking the train is the best way to leave Peep. My opinion only.
Kielynn, we were talking about taking a long train trip. I don't want a long one. But I've been up and back from Chicago on the train many years ago, and that was super fun. It was just like $25. Wasn't bad at all.
In the 50s, that's how people traveled to conventions. Mom and Dad would go up to the Builders Convention. And what Dad would always say is, he says, you're rocking back and forth for 2 hours on the train. Yeah. And you're going through the countryside, and you get off the train, and everybody thinks you're wobbly drunk because you're trying to get your sea legs
Because you're kind of
back.
sway a little bit. Kind of like a cruise ship, except I've never had that experience. I haven't. But my dad hated the train. They took a long one from here to out west. And Mom loved it, but Dad was like, I'm done with the train after like 2 days. You can only walk back and forth so many times. But the food and everything, it really is a cool experience. Guys, this is the first day show, and we thank you for being here. I'm Terri Stacy. That's Denny Smith. Kielynn Talley over here producing today's show. Thank you for watching us as we stream live on YouTube. Big sports day here in the Circle City. Look at that. I just turned around to look at the Monument Circle. Look how beautiful the skies are today.
Beautiful.
And there's a plane. It's beautiful here on Monument Circle.
That's a pigeon. He's just closer.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's a beautiful day. We've got the Colts in Los Angeles.
Glasses. Leave her alone.
Taking on
the bums from Los Angeles.
4:05 this afternoon. Fever play today in game number 4 of the series. Huge game after losing to the Aces at home on Friday night. That was a heartbreaker. Don't know what happened. Best of 5 WNBA semifinal series. They got to win today. This is it.
It's a have to
get them to the finals,
Must
which would be
win.
incredible.
Did you see what happened up in Minnesota with Lynx and the Mercury?
No.
Oh, the coach got 2 technicals thrown out. She's been banned from the 4th game because there was a hard foul with 28 seconds to go. Really busted. She probably has a fracture. The girl that went down probably has a fracture and a twisted ankle. But the coach came off the bench, and then she railed on the officials, which those are rough games. Yeah. I don't know very many guys who could hold up against that beating.
Well, and they have been going and going and going strong. Like every other night, these guys have been playing. These gals have been playing basketball, and so I would imagine
injuries, yes, and just I would be exhausted.
Well, it's taken over
But they're young.
everywhere.
Right.
Even not just keeping it to WNBA, but now people are mad at the WNBA playoffs, specifically for the Mercury and the Lynx, because it canceled a Joe Jonas concert. Now all of the fans are mad about it.
Oh my
They
gosh.
got upstaged and
You
had
don't
to
mess with the
change
Jonas
their-
brothers. No,
Right.
no. That's right.
So not only fights there, but then fights outside of it.
And then what about the Ryder's Cup?
Well,
Terry
I was
telling
going to
us
say
about
the
the
fights.
Ryder's Cup.
This has just been.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy. By the way, we will carry that fever game for you. 2:45 pregame here on WIBC. Yeah, the Ryder Cup tensions pretty high, and I'm told, and I don't watch golf, but I'm told that this has become kind of the thing. Of course, you've got the Americans playing against Europe, and it has been yesterday.
Wow.
It was just crazy. There were incidents involving the players, Rory McIlroy facing crowd abuse, and Brian DeChambeau.
Well, how about those
involved.
caddies?
The caddies, there was caddy problems, player and caddy clashes, caddy and caddy clashes. There were people thrown out. It has just been an interesting. This is the first time I think I've actually looked at the TV to just see what was going to be happening.
It was right
late
out of
yesterday
Caddyshack
afternoon.
is what it was out. It was
Just
that crazy.
But anyway, and yelling. I mean, the crowd is fierce. And anyway, okay, so that's happening there. We got a lot to get to today. In fact, Kielynn, we probably do need to take a break, don't we? Because we've got something coming up next. Oh,
Yeah, we have the Small Business of the Year.
Small Business of the Year recipient. And listen, it is cold and flu season. Have you tried elderberry?
Only the wine.
Only the wine, says Denny. That probably even that wine did you some good. Elderberry is really, really, really is having a moment. So we're going to talk about that coming up with the owner of the Elderberry Company right here in Indiana after the break on 93 WIBC.
5 people.
kids are back in school, and it's really common right now for students to be getting sick, right? With colds and flus.
Oh my gosh, it's all over.
Bringing it home, and then it kind of spreads through the house. It's just that time of year. And I noticed lately that the shelves of elderberry in some of our super centers are starting to dwindle. Have you ever tried elderberry syrup or lozenges? We're going to tell you about them if you don't know. And it was probably about 5 years ago. We were still in the early months of COVID, and this is about the time I started reading more about natural immune boosters, which include elderberry. Grows right here in Indiana. Local Indiana businesses have truly been instrumental in driving the berry's popularity. And joining us now is Indiana's own Jenny Watson. She's the founder and CEO of the Elderberry Company in New Albany. Jenny, how are you?
Hi, guys. I am awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
You betcha. Congratulations, because the Elderberry Company was honored by the Indiana Chamber as a 2025 Indiana Small Business of the Year. And I'm wondering, since that recognition, has it made an impact on your business at all?
Absolutely. Yeah. I was beyond honored and thrilled. And what was so great is that award happened the same week that I gave birth to our fourth child. So it was like a whole week of celebrating. Yeah, it was wild. It was so wonderful.
Cool. That is so cool. What do we know about elderberry?
So elderberry is a natural way to support your immune system. The berry itself is anti-inflammatory, antiviral, high in antioxidants, so it works with our bodies to give our immune system a support, a boost, to fight off whatever the body's trying to fight off, to cut the duration of colds, flu, allergies. It is truly a super berry that so many families cannot live without.
Mm-hmm. The moment or the problem that sparked your first homemade batch of elderberry syrup?
Yeah. So it was when I was a young mom, and I find that a lot of moms that are, into their first cold and flu season are seeking empowerment in ways to help their families thrive, help their families to stay healthy, to stay out of the doctor's office. And that was me. I had my firstborn. He got the sniffles, and that turned into a full-blown cold that I took him to the doctor, and he was diagnosed with an ear infection and prescribed antibiotics, and it went away. But the next month it popped back up, and it popped back up. And, I always want to encourage my customers and my community that there's a time and place for medicine, right? And then our doctors, we love our doctors, and we're so thankful for them and the medicine and the support and the help they provide. But as a mom, I needed something that I could do. I didn't feel like it was right that I couldn't do anything. I just had to take them to the doctor. So I found a group of moms on Facebook that had told me that elderberry was a natural way to help our bodies fight infection. And so I made my first batch, and I gave it to him when he's a little bit over a year old, and literally have never had an ear infection since. So before it was ever a business idea in my head even, it was a staple in our family to keep us healthy and out of the doctor's office.
It's trending right now for the homestead, the looking for natural ways to do it all ourselves. For that first batch, did you go and buy your own elderberry? How did that work? Because you don't see just regular elderberry on the shelf. You see it in supplements.
I wouldn't even know what it looked like growing.
Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah. And I didn't, when I first heard it, when moms were telling me on Facebook, I didn't know what it was, how to get it, how to make it. And I wish that one of those moms would have said, like, here's my batch, and that's how my business started, is I simply wanted to give that mom that had never heard of elderberry a chance to try it, and a chance to try out the homemade. There's a difference between what's mass produced on the shelves in the pharmacy versus what we make, and the fresh, natural, small batch, handcrafted syrup that we make in New Albany, Indiana. And so my first batch I actually found on Etsy another mom that was making kind of like a do-it-yourself kit, giving me all the dry ingredients and giving me a recipe and instructions to make it on a stovetop in my own home. So that's how I did it the first time.
Oh, that's how you did it. Was it 2017?
Yeah, it was November of 2017. I posted on Facebook, and I wanted to extend the kindness to other families. And I said, hey, I'm making my batch of elderberry syrup. If you want to try it, message me, and I'll give you a little sample. And that's how it started.
Wow. I love that story. This is Jenny Watson. She is the founder and CEO of the Elderberry Company right here in Indiana, New Albany, Indiana, theelderberrycompany.com. It's a great website. Also find them on social media. Kielynn, go ahead.
I am curious about how do you use elderberry syrup? Because do you just take it as you do, or else do you put it in different like coffees or drinks? How do you recommend people use what you make in store?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's a question we get a lot. What's wonderful about our syrup is the formula, the recipe that we make. It tastes delicious. Like the word we use to describe it is Christmas, and so I would say the majority of our customers will just take a tablespoon or a teaspoon at a time, just straight, like in a medicine cup or a shot glass. Take it straight. It's got a blend of berries, spices, and honey, and so some of the spices especially can maybe give a strong taste. So some people that don't love the taste of it, you can mix it in smoothies, juice, coffee, tea. You can even dilute it in water. But I would say, the way I take it, my even 2-year-old lines up for it and takes it just in a cup by itself.
And then you started making other products. When did that start to happen, and what were you starting to create, and why add more?
So, we started with elderberry syrup, and that's been my home run, my number one product from the beginning, which is amazing, and I'm so thankful for it. As much as I want to help educate people that elderberry isn't just a cold and flu season product, it's still pretty seasonal, and our sales always increase in the wintertime and die off in the summertime. And anyone that is listening that owns a business knows that seasonality is hard because your overhead stays the same all year round. Yeah. And so I simply wanted to offer our customers other natural ways to help empower them as families to be healthy and thrive. Our tagline is healthy families, happy families. And so, there is a trend of people just want to know what they're putting in and on their bodies. And I, as a mom now, I'm 10 years into being a mom, like the ailments that come up for my family are so vast that I want to have natural things that help my family more and more. And so that's kind of the heart behind the other products. We've got elderberry gummies. That's a more convenient and quick way to get the elderberry syrup in you. We actually put our elderberry syrup in these gummies. That's the only elderberry gummies out there. And a lot of the gummies out there are really not great for you. They're packed with sugar. They don't have a lot of elderberry strength. And so we made an elderberry gummy that is fantastic, where your kid only needs one gummy to get their daily elderberry boost and not, 10 gummies with all that sugar.
I'm sure you hear from your customers, and what do they tell you?
Yeah, gosh, there's so many. And one of the ones that stick out the most are families that are able to continue their full schedule, their wonderfully full schedule of birthday parties and vacations and school and work, and they don't have to be disrupted by sickness, because that's what it does. Sickness knocks you out, and you have to cancel plans and, reschedule parties and vacations. And so, when I hear customers that say that the flu went around their daycare, but their kids didn't get it, or grandparents that say, I'm able to be around my grandkids and not get whatever sickness they're traveling with, that's huge for us to be able to know that we are helping families be healthy, be happy, stay active, and not miss a beat.
Jenny Watson's here, the founder and CEO of the Elderberry Company in New Albany, Indiana, the elderberrycompany.com, honored by the Indiana Chamber as a 2025 Small Business of the Year here in Indiana. What is the earliest you could start to give a child elderberry, or is that a doctor question?
No, that's a great question. I always say to ask your doctor, but our elderberry syrup has honey in it, which means that it's not safe for babies under 12 months.
Okay.
And so that's another way, you can make an infant-safe version if you've got a baby under 12 months that you want to give elderberry. Again, ask your doctor. But our elderberry syrup kit that I talked about a little bit earlier, you can make a batch on your own stovetop, and you would just omit the honey at the end of the recipe. And oftentimes babies don't even have a sweet tooth yet, so you don't even have to substitute another sweetener, but you can substitute stevia, you can substitute, maple syrup, whatever sweetener you want. And that also is great for people that need to monitor their sugar intake, maybe for diabetes or another issue. They can make a sugar-free version as well.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I've been waiting a long while to get to talk to you, Jenny Watson, founder and CEO of the Elderberry Company right here in New Albany, Indiana. Support local. That's what we say.
support our local Hoosier entrepreneurs, the elderberrycompany.com, and you'll also find them on social media as well. We appreciate you so much taking so much time for us. Thank you, Jenny. Continued success.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me.
She's terrific. It is 11:28. Okay, the data center boom. Excuse me. I started to go in another language. The data center boom. How about it? We want, we have to, do we need them? Do we have to have them? We're fighting them, right? Well, coming up, that precious farmland. Developers want it and willing to pay a lot of money for it. Is the Hoosier farm not as important anymore? That's my question. We're going to talk to an Indiana farm realtor who will join us after the news, coming up on 93 WIBC.
Life
Love this song. It's 11:35. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the first day. 93 WIBC. Terri Stacy, Denny Smith, Kielynn Talley is here. The Indiana data center boom. As of August, the website Data Center Map reported 72 facilities, while another source, Baxtel, reported 78. That number is mostly smaller data centers that we're talking about, but while that current boom involves massive hyperscale facilities proposed by major companies, we're looking at about 40 of those that are proposed or under construction. And I'm on the side of the people that in each of the communities that are fighting hard to keep them out. I mean, Tuttle's was fighting, and we were right there with them. So anyway, we just wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on with farming that makes sense to farm families to sell their precious land. Is it strictly money? Is that it? Joining us now is Howard Halderman, and Halderman Real Estate and Farm Management right here in Indiana. Howard, we're glad to take some time with us here on a Sunday. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
We're doing fine. Fine. How long have you been doing this kind of work?
I have been with the Halderman Companies since 1988, so 37 years at this point, and I've been the president since 2000. So I've been doing it a little bit.
And why? Did you come from a farm? Did you grow up on a farm, or why are you working with farms and doing farm management too?
Well, my grandfather started our business in 1930.
Oh, wow.
And so I am third generation, and my son Joe has joined us. So we now have 4 generations of Haldermans in the business. And so, yes, I grew up on a farm in Wabash and still live on that farm. We lease our farm out, so we've got a local producer that rents our farm from us because we're into the day-to-day service business that we provide with the farm management, real estate brokerage, and appraisal services.
Before we get to Denny Smith and Kielynn Talley, can you describe the current trend in Indiana farmland sales to developers?
The trend continues to be fairly strong. And when you say developers, it's not just data centers. Yeah. It's not just potentially, and you know, the renewable energy space. So wind and solar, and that's more of a lease, not necessarily a sale.
Oh.
And then you've got the whole LEAP project at Lebanon, which when you get up to 9,000 acres under option, some of it acquired, that's a market mover. And then, of course, the data centers or projects like the Stellantis battery plant at Kokomo. Those kind of projects all generate a various amount of 1031 exchange money that comes into the farmland space. And then you have just the traditional, what I would call 1031 residential development opportunities. Mm-hmm. So those landowners that own land around the Indianapolis metropolitan area, Lafayette, South Bend, all those larger communities.
Denny?
Howard, as a small businessman myself and a multiple generation business, I remember as the business grew and the value of the business grew more and more, there was a responsibility of family wealth and family generations that a lot of people don't see, but it hits the farmers hard. And when I was a financial advisor, I remember these farmers coming in and saying, look, I got this ground, maybe $2,000 an acre. Now it's worth $35,000, $40,000 an acre. I feel like I'm letting the family down, but none of my kids want to be farmers. What do I do? Those are decisions that I'm assuming that Halderman's faces every day.
They are, and those are very difficult decisions because you have a sentimental attachment to that property. Yeah, some cases, maybe they've been honored by the state of Indiana as a homestead farm for 100 or 150 years. And so how do you make that decision? Because certainly there's a financial opportunity. And if you are receiving, let's say, $60,000 per acre for a development transaction, you could replace the 1 acre you're selling with 4 because the average price of top quality farmland in Indiana is somewhere around $15,000. So wow. It's a very significant economic opportunity for these farm families. And there have been some that have capitalized on that, and they've said, all right, we're going to sell a couple hundred acres for development, and we're going to replace that with maybe 1,000 acres someplace else, and hopefully close by so we can continue to farm it. But in the case that you stated, Denny, where there's not somebody coming back to the farm, maybe it creates that opportunity to remain in production agriculture or to own farmland but it might not be that historical family farm. And so those are very difficult decisions. And at Halderman, we do help folks navigate that and try to figure out what is best for their family, and then all the nuances of the terms of the deal. How do you figure that out, and what can be to your best advantage?
We've talked about some of those new trends and the change between generationally. And what do you see as maybe an older farming trend that's dying out that we should be aware of on the horizon? Have you seen any of those other ones?
Well, I think there's we go back 200 years, this trend has been true. The number of farmers decline, and when I say farmers, I'm talking about the producers, the people that are actually planting the crop and harvesting it. And that has been in a state of decline for the last 200 years. I think that trend continues, and with the current farm economics, especially in row crop, not livestock. Livestock's really in a boom time, but from the row crop producer, which is a majority of Indiana's farmers, there's some tight financial times going on. So consolidation is that trend, and I think that will continue. And so there might be some farmers that are older. The average age of the farmers, 50, 60 years old.
Oh my!
And so they may make the decision, you know what, with this development opportunity, it might be a great time to retire from production farming, but certainly not retire from owning farmland. Farmland's a tremendous investment. It's been great for our family. We're going to keep farmland, but we're going to leverage this opportunity to, replace 1 acre with 4.
More than half, as you mentioned, more than half of our farmers are expected to retire in the next decade. Average age of a U.S. farmer is over 58, as you said, and that number has been increasing. Are there younger families that are looking for farms?
There are, and you do have a number of, half those farmers are going to stay in business. And the ones that are staying in, it's because they have somebody coming back, the next generation coming back into that family farm. And these may be kids that are in high school or college, and they're really got their sight sets on coming back to farm with dad or with their grandfather. And so those are the ones that will look to grow and expand their acreage base. And with today's, cost of a combine with the headers that are necessarily for harvesting a crop's $1 million. Yeah. So you have a huge fixed cost in agriculture that the more you can spread that over more acres, the lower your fixed cost per acre. And I think there's a lot of younger folks looking to come back, and if they can pick up some of those other acres, they spread that fixed cost out, and it creates some opportunities with scale that they might be able to be profitable.
Okay.
Howard, are you ever contacted by what I call big money pools? We saw this up in northern Indiana. I don't know if it was Pulaski County, White County, but I remember going up 65 and seeing these huge tracts of lands that were acquired at one point by large insurance companies. And we had sections of 40 and 80 acres, and they were just ripping out all the fence posts, and they were making like half-mile tracts. Are you seeing any big money coming in for acquisition of land at this point?
There are a number of what I would call institutional investors, so think pension plans, university endowments, that are in an acquisition mode, and they might buy farmland. They might put, usually what I hear is 1% of their portfolio into a farmland investment, and maybe 1% in timber, and maybe 2 or 3% in infrastructure, oil, gas, that sort of thing. And so they're diversifying their investments with farmland. However, most of them are seeking a rate of return, a cash yield, annual cash yield that's above where the current market trades. So while those investors certainly exist, I am not seeing them, they're not our number one buyer. In fact, at Halderman, we track our sales results, and to date this year, 65% of our sales are going to the farmer down the road, our land sales. And so 35% are going to what we call investors. Those tend to be folks from the local communities, somebody that maybe grew up on a farm and they work off the farm today, but they want to expand their farmland holdings.
This is Howard Halderman, Halderman Real Estate and Farm Management right here in Indiana. I saw a headline today, Howard, from a publication here in Indianapolis that covers this state. And it was talking about Cicero, and it said, Cicero, once a farm town, now a summer destination. Is it not okay
is it not feasible to still be a farm town
Is
here
it
in
a
Indy anymore?
destination?
Is it right? It's better to become destinations but farm towns themselves, which I grew up in. Is it just not okay? You can't make it as a farm town anymore?
Well, it's a challenge. I think the number is somewhere in the low 70s of the number of counties in Indiana that are declining in population. In the Indianapolis area, you don't see that. But Wabash County, where I live, for example, last year was one of the first years in many, many, many that we grew. We grew 5 people. That was that's Westfield in one day.
Yeah.
And so we look at it and say we're cheering because we grew. And other people look at it and say, 5 people, really? You're counting that? And for us it is, because it was growth. So a lot of rural counties are seeing a depopulation, and that's been the trend. Can you still remain a rural community, a farm-based community? You certainly can. And I would argue that Wabash, Indiana is an example of that, where we have some folks in town. We have the Honeywell Foundation that has created a couple of theaters. We have another family that owns a large 4.5-star hotel. All of those things, plus some other businesses that we have, are keeping our downtown vital and vibrant and I think attractive to people. And so it's kind of a combination of agriculture. We've got a couple of seed companies locally. We have one of the largest egg layers in the state based in Wabash County. So we're very much an agricultural county, but we also have those other things that make it attractive for folks to visit to.
Kielynn?
I just want to make sure that we get this time in for you to be able to share your thoughts on, just in general, for the population outside of the farmers and looking into it, especially with all of the hands-on work you're doing. What are some things that you wish us as a population respected more or knew more about the farmland, especially with this growing and changing industry?
I think the most important thing for people who are not in the agricultural space to know is that farmers live where they work. And there is nobody more conscious of protecting our environment, protecting clean water, trying to reduce erosion and runoff than the farmer, because they're drinking water that's coming from a well that's there on their property. They're raising their family there. So they are extremely environmentally sensitive and trying to do the very best they can to keep the environment. And I would argue today our rivers are cleaner than they were when I was born 59 years ago. So I think we're doing a better job in agriculture. Can we always be improving? Yes, and farmers are. The other thing that probably would surprise people, in agriculture today, the technology use is astronomical. If you went and rode in a combine today on many of the farms that will be operating them, you'll see 3, 4, 5 computer screens. You'd think you're looking at somebody working in a large office building in Indianapolis. That's the kind of technology that exists in agriculture. They know exactly down to the inch how much fertilizer they're putting on, how much seed, what's the yield coming off this time of year. And they measure all of that, and then they use that data to adjust what they put on for next year's crop down to the inch. Saves a lot of money. It also is best for the environment, and it maximizes yield.
Howard, I've got another question for you. There's always this trend of people who have grown up in the city or in the suburbs, and they want to do the Green Acres thing like Eddie Arnold and Ava Gabor. So you tell me, is there anybody moving out to the farm just to change the life and the hustle and bustle and get away from it?
There are, and I think there will be opportunities in that. Agro-tourism, you see a lot of those types of operations prop up this time of year, where they're offering a corn maze, or they've planted a small patch of pumpkins, small to the big row crop farmer, but I'll tell you, 5 acres of pumpkins can be a tremendous amount of pumpkins. They'll create those kind of opportunities for people who come out of the city and they want to have that rural experience. They may not have an orchard per se, but there's a lot of orchards around Indiana. We're not a major apple producer, so we don't do a lot of commodity apple production. They're really all agritourism, and that's extremely popular. So could you come out of the city and create on 5 to 10 acres that kind of experience and something that people would find attractive? You could.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for people who aren't used to that type of work, Howard.
You're exactly right, and I think that's a really good caution that you tell folks. If you're going to get into this, it's a lot of labor, and it takes a lot of time and patience. You got to develop marketing skills, word of mouth. Those opportunities exist. I think agriculture of the future, you're going to have some very large producers. That consolidation trend that I talked about, you're going to have growers that are over 10,000 acres in corn and soybeans. But you will still have that layer of grower who is farming 300, 400, 500 acres. Their equipment's paid for. They own the land. They love farming.
One more story for you. I remember reading this book about the dream of every soldier from the Revolutionary War was 10 acres, a Jersey cow, and enough room to plant a crop. 10 acres, you can get a lot to feed a family out of 10 acres, but I start to giggle when I think that was the dream of the Revolutionary War veterans.
Yeah. Well, Howard, thank you. Please go ahead.
No, I think that was the dream. That's still the dream for most Americans. It's just a different world today and how we have to operate.
It is, and I'm one that still wants that balance. Every time a farm field near it goes away and it's a warehouse or a housing addition,
it really makes her mad.
It's
Howard.
Just a little bit
She's
of
in a bad mood when that happens.
Clean air or whatever it is goes away. I love being around the farm areas. It just feels like they're going little by little, quickly all of a sudden, and no matter where you are in our state. So I kind of wanted to get a perspective on what is going on. Everybody's fighting the data centers, and those are going on farmland, but so is so much other development. So God bless our farmers.
Howard, I think your grandpa would be real proud of you.
Yeah, me too.
Well, thank you, and I just really appreciate you taking the time to highlight agriculture today.
Hope you come back and see us. Howard Halderman with Halderman Real Estate and Farm Management. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and you'll be back. We'll have you back.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's the first day on 93 WIBC.
Are you
On a beautiful Sunday. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We've got another hour still to come here on the first day. What are we doing next half hour? Wait a minute. I'm looking.
What are we not doing?
I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the news. We got the news update coming up, but Joel Hoekstra, he is a guitarist with Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and we are just, I believe, 87 days?
Pretty close.
From which officially the holiday season, which is December 1st. Officially. And they're coming on the 4th. So you'll hear from Joel Hoekstra coming up in the next hour. He's terrific. He's terrific. They love coming to Indianapolis. I know it's a family tradition for so many of you. And Tom Beckman, thank you for introducing us to Mr. Halderman as well. We're going to take a break because we got the news, today's top stories coming up for you.
Dollars and Cents will be next hour.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. I forgot.
Don't you worry.
What is it, Denny?
Wall Street thinks we've dodged a bullet, but remember, even Wile E. Coyote thinks he's safe right before the anvil hits him in the head.
It's the first day. 93 WIBC.
Hurricane Imelda. Fox Weather's Britta Merwin has the latest.
A budding hurricane. Right now, a tropical depression. Tropical storm watches are out for Florida, so Floridians look out for some rough beach conditions. The good news is we're no longer calling for a direct landfall. There was a lot of options open yesterday, and now the computer models all agree that this will stay offshore. Timeline, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We have a Category 1 hurricane Imelda right offshore. Outer rain bands are going to produce a flood threat for coastal areas of the Carolinas. Again, potential that those watches might be upgraded to a tropical storm warning across Florida's Space Coast.
The current forecast cone has Imelda turning sharply away from the coast early Tuesday. Meanwhile, Hurricane Umberto has weakened a little bit with winds 150 miles an hour. That would make it a strong Category 4 storm. Charges have been filed against the man police say opened fire on a crowded riverfront night spot in South Point, North Carolina last night. 3 people killed, several others hurt. Witnesses say the gunman pulled up on a boat, started shooting, and then took off. About 30 minutes later, the Coast Guard spotted someone matching the suspect's description, loading a boat at a nearby public ramp. Police identify him as 39-year-old Nigel Edge. He faces 3 counts of first-degree murder, 5 counts of attempted first-degree murder, and 5 counts of assault with a deadly weapon. Police say the shooting was highly premeditated and the location was targeted. Deputies are still searching for people who are still missing after severe flash flooding ravaged central Arizona, killing at least 4 people. Officials say floodwaters reached nearly 8 feet in some areas on Friday near Phoenix. The city's weather service says it was the 4th wettest day in recorded history there since 2004. United Nations has reimposed sanctions on Iran over its nuclear program after last-minute diplomacy failed, freezing Iranian assets and penalizing its missile program. America is listening to Fox News.
Stay on top of the latest forecast with America's Weather Team in the palm of your hands.
Here's the latest from America's Weather Center.
It's Fox weather updates throughout your busy day, every day.
That heat's going to be out there for one more day.
Temperatures being 30 degrees above average.
Put the power of over 100 meteorologists and the worldwide resources of Fox in your hands with the Fox Weather Podcast. Precise, personal, powerful. Subscribe and listen now at foxnewspodcasts.com. Connect to Fox News Audio on the Fox News app. Listen to hear your favorite hosts like Brian Kilmeade, Jimmy Fallon, and Guy Benson standing up for what's right, live and via podcast. Just click listen, then swipe right and hear the latest news updates on your time. And scroll down to hear the latest podcasts from Fox News. And it's even easier to listen in the car with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Get programming alerts and notifications. Fox News Audio is on the Fox News app. The voices America trusts. Download it now.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It was a medical problem. Sunny skies and 82. High today is 87. I'm Jake McDaniel. Here's what's trending at 12:03. That's how a man ended up being hit by a car and died yesterday afternoon in Henry County. Deputies found Robert Parks on a county road and he did not survive. Parks' medical issue caused him to fall into a shaded area of the road and a vehicle drove by and hit him. Detectives are looking into this. They're calling them life-saving devices. Jarrett Lewis reports on what Hancock County is giving its area fire departments.
13 new Lucas CPR devices. The county purchasing those and handing them out so that each department, including volunteer stations, will have one. Chief of the Charlottesville Volunteer Fire Department, John Collins, said the devices are a much-needed tool for their rural Indiana station.
CPR is very tough to do with limited manpower, so we can get the Lucas device there, get CPR started with 1 to 2 guys without wearing them out. We can get CPR started until further manpower arrives, so it's a great asset.
The devices are engineered to give consistent compressions to a patient for a long period of time and help with responder fatigue. Jarrett Lewis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And the Indianapolis Colts are 3-0 for the first time since 2009 after they beat the Tennessee Titans 41-20 last Sunday. It's the second back-to-back for that matter, road games for the Colts to open the season, taking on the Los Angeles Rams, and the kickoff today is at 4 o'clock. News time, 12:04. Here's the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly sunny, warm, but not too humid for today. High temperatures will be checking in the mid to upper 80s. Tonight, mostly clear. Low temperatures in the upper 50s. On Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Jake McDaniel, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
In light of recent events, there has been a call on the next generation to stand up and be bold. Life Church's 4th annual Truth Conference is designed to equip them by answering life's toughest questions about God, about faith, about life, about truth. On October 4th and 5th, we are inviting students 6th to 12th grade across Indy to unite in truth. To register and more, visit the events page at lifechurchin.com. It's more than a weekend, it's a turning point.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
I wish we had sing-alongs. Hey, good afternoon, everybody.
I never sang along with an Allman Brothers today.
challenge accepted. I'm going to make a sing-along song with all of the first day lyrics.
I love sing-alongs.
You know what? Talk about a sing-along. Not to derail before we even started. Scholastic just created a new streaming app. It's for free on Roku, and I think it's amazing. I'm singing along to Magic School Bus now. Love it.
Oh, okay. So I was wondering what does that mean? And it's
Fair.
It's just kind of a sing-along thing for you.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
Where
That's
is
what
this
made you
going?
think of it.
Yes, but
Because we were talking about sing-alongs.
Yeah, and all of the nostalgic, wonderful cartoons that I grew up with as a kid, like Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Sure.
Garfield,
Sure.
Barney and Friends, the whole thing.
What about the Three Stooges?
Well, that's not
What
Scholastic.
about Schoolhouse Rock? Can I really
Schoolhouse
derail
Rock
you?
is a good one, though.
Hey, it's 12:07. It is a beautiful
just a
Sunday. Did you
bill.
see that sunset last night?
Wasn't it gorgeous?
It was the most spectacular ball of sun I've ever seen. It was huge as it went down. It was just beautiful,
Was
and
it
it was
you
a
that
beautiful
told me,
night.
or maybe it was Kielynn that said we've seen our last sunset after 8
Yep.
o'clock.
Yeah.
And it really is sort of shrinking the daylight now.
But
And
that
then
was a
daylight
sunset.
savings time will be around the corner
That's
in
right.
November, right?
Yep.
Fall back.
November
1 hour.
early.
Get an
Yeah.
extra
Oh
hour.
my goodness.
Fall back. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So it's a big sports day here on September 28th. Colts in LA taking on the Rams. That's at 4:05 this afternoon. Fever play today in a must-win game to get them to the finals. Game 4 of the series. Huge game. And we know that people are already downtown getting ready for it. Aces lead 2-1. Got to do it. Got to do it.
We believe
will
in
hear
you.
that.
Come on,
We do, and
please.
it's so much fun. You got farther than I even thought, but you're doing it, and it's fantastic. 3 o'clock. That's a 3 o'clock game, and it's right here on WIBC. I think John Nolan, right, play-by-play. He'll be doing play-by-play, and Bria Goss. 2:45 is pre-game
With Eddie Garrison.
with Eddie Garrison,
Whole thing.
Eddie Spaghetti Garrison, as well we know him. It's the annual Join IMPD Week. As part of Join IMPD Week, they're hosting special pre-academy readiness workouts to help future recruits prepare for the physical and mental demands of the IMPD Training Academy.
Denny, do you think you could do good at that?
I was
Do
just
well?
thinking about you, Kai. I think I could
she could do
survive
it.
for about 2 days, but Kai, you could do this. The soccer
my
player in
gosh.
you're in shape. You could do that.
You
Physical
can come on out.
and mental.
Yeah, IMPD Training Academy. They're doing it there, and you can come out too with your workout clothes, bring some water, and get a taste of what it's like to become an officer. That's Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. at the IMPD Training Academy, which is about 10th and Post.
They're doing stuff all week until October 5th, right? So they've got a ride-along. If you follow along on their IMPD News social media, they'll do
Yeah.
a ride-along with an IMPD officer, 1:30 to 10 on October 3rd. That's this next weekend. And then they'll be at the Touchdown Town next week as the Colts are back in town.
That's right.
I did a ride along once with the sheriff's department. I was supposed to cover the back doors. They were raiding this drug house, and I'm going, wait a minute, you guys got the guns. What am I supposed to do? Spit on him?
Really something really to do a ride along. And they do civilian ride alongs
They do.
often. And you should check out what they go through. Amazing. And we appreciate you. God bless our police officers. Okay, so anyway, we unfortunately were unable to get to Denny Smith and Denny's Dollars and Cents last half hour. And so guess what, guys? It's time for Denny's Dollars and Cents.
Oh.
Everybody sing. Here we go.
It wouldn't be Dollars and Cents without
Without
this.
the singing, that's right.
You've got a friend in Denny. You've got a friend in Denny.
Denny, wave to the camera.
Hey, don't you,
Rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your
rascal.
warm bed.
You just remember what Denny said. Oh, you've got a friend in Denny. Oh, yeah.
Have you guys ever heard the saying in the Wall Street that bulls make money, bears make money, and,
I've heard of that.
and pigs go to slaughter?
That's what I've heard. Oh.
It's been said that you need to be bold in the stock market when everybody else is afraid, and you need to be afraid when everybody else is bold. And what I heard this week, that I hear all these investors singing this tune, it's going to be a soft landing. This time is different. We're flying forever. I'm also a pilot, and a pilot does not avoid the blinking light that says low fuel. And I think that's what we're coming into. There's this stock market euphoria. And analysts have been predicting. I follow the earnings, and I look at all the annual reports and the quarterly reports, and they're all predicting huge gains in 2026 for income, and I'm just not seeing that in corporate America. And I'm starting to get a little bit jumpy or cautious, and there's this reality check.
Uh-oh.
All right, Terry, do you know what LEIs are?
LEI.
Yeah, do you
Like
know?
a lay that you wear around your.
It's like a landing,
No,
in LEA. It was LEI.
How about
lending,
leading
economic
indicator? Yeah, you got it. I knew you'd remember.
Hey,
The
she
leading
was paying
okay, now
attention.
listen. If the Colts were 0-17,
Oh.
0-17 the whole season, would you call that looking good?
That's a losing season.
That's a losing season. The
Well.
leading economic indicators
So-
have been down 17 straight months.
So
Now,
it's
these
0-17.
0-17. That's right. So would you call that good news?
No.
No, it's not. But think of it as the economic equivalent of the Colts being 0-17.
Thank you, Jenny. That's a really good description.
Here's
Brought
what's
it back on a
happening.
game day.
I got
We
it.
saw a yield inversion
It's terrible.
the last couple of years. And that's when short-term rates are higher than long-term rates. And you'd think that if you're going to give somebody your money for a long period of term, you want a higher interest rate. Well, it has now uninverted. And what that means is that normally tells us when they first invert, it does, you're in the middle of just whatever. But when it uninverts, there's a little bit of a fuse that takes place that says, hey, the recession's coming. And we've seen some labor market cracks. The temporary jobs are shrinking. Job openings are off 30%.
Yeah.
And how about this
Yeah.
this restatement of the labor numbers? They lost 911,000 jobs
good.
as a technical
There's
error.
no. I'm telling you, there's no good news anywhere.
There's a
no
load-
good news.
You know the soup
It's all
Nazi when-
bad. Other than it is
You
a
know the-
beautiful day.
You know the soup Nazi that says "No soup for you"?
Yeah,
Okay.
on Seinfeld.
Well, that's the lone tightrope. Right now, everybody expects these rates to go down because they cut 1/4 point, and they're going to do that 2 more times. But I'm telling you what, the credit card delinquencies are rising as the consumers, their finance situations is getting tighter and tighter. And I don't know if you guys have credit cards, but if you're not able to pay your credit card and more people are getting onto that wagon, investors got to care about this. Markets don't save this date for recessions. Remember when Ethan got married and he sent us this card, save the date for this wedding. Recessions don't send out those cards.
No, they don't.
So they don't save the dates, so they sort of sneak up on you if you're not paying attention to the leading economic indicators. Now, I'm a CFO. What that means is I'm a chief financial officer type of guy. I got to grind the numbers. I'm not an economist, but I'm telling, we got some slightly snarky takeaways that are coming at us here, and it's quality over hype. So if you are worried about your portfolio, you sit down and you talk to your investment advisor and you say, look, my pucker string's pulling a little bit tight here. Can we sort of tone it down? And what is he going to do? He's going to say, okay, maybe you want to build your cash position up. You might want to have more reserves, especially if you're retired. You don't want to go into something like this and not be able to sell some of your assets and get cash. Don't be afraid to build them up. If you're really worried, bonds might be looking a little bit stronger than they have for the last 3 or 4 years. Talk to the people who are helping you with your money. Or if you're doing it yourself, just pay the hell attention. I mean, don't believe what you're hearing in the news, because those are a bunch of liars anyway. Did I say
Not
that?
us, though.
I think
Pay
everybody is
attention
a
here.
liar, right? I mean, who do you trust?
Yeah. Okay. Well,
But I trust you.
Pat Sullivan, he sells all these Christmas trees. He leaves his Christmas decorations up through July. And those things, the bulbs start to break out and they start to flash. That's
Yeah.
what the S&P is doing right now. It's flashing like your Christmas tree on your porch in July. Something's not necessarily right. I don't know what it is yet. But I tell you what, I'm paying
Speaking
attention.
of Christmas,
Denny's paying attention. He's watching over us.
Here's the moral of the story. Don't panic.
'Kay.
Prepare. Okay? Listen to the wisdom. When everybody else is cocky and sure and we're going to win this one, you be cautious. You be humble. This is your money. This is your nest egg, whether you're saving it for 40 years from now or if you saved for 40 years and now you're in now, pay attention. Be humble. It's like you might end up on the side of the road waiting for a tow truck, and you don't want that in your investments.
Thank you, Denny Smith. That's Denny's Dollars and Cents for today.
Phew, my phone's going to ring
The
now.
28th of September. Remember what he said. He's looking out for us. We've got a great guest coming up for you. Official holiday season really starts December 1st, about 88 days away, but tickets are on sale now for Trans-Siberian Orchestra's The Ghost of Christmas Eve. And we'll talk to TSO's Joel Hoekstra after the break on 93 WIBC.
Hello.
Multi-platinum rock group Trans-Siberian Orchestra is kicking off their Ghosts of Christmas Eve tour in November. And joining us now to talk about their return to Gainbridge Fieldhouse on December 4th is guitarist Joel Hoekstra. Hi, Joel.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks so much for taking the time out today.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you. How did Indianapolis, or how does Indianapolis get so lucky to be one of the stops of your winter tour year after year?
Because Indianapolis rules. I mean, it's a great city.
Yay.
I mean, what's not to like? And the Fieldhouse is an awesome venue. So, hey, why wouldn't we go to Indy?
We are really lucky that you do to continue to come back. How many years with TSO have you been playing guitar?
I've been with them since, 2010 now, so about 15 years. Amazingly enough, to some people, I'm still a new guy in the group, but I feel like I've been there quite some time.
How did you get there?
Well, the Alex Skolnick was playing with the band before me in the position that I'm in, and needed to take a year off, and a couple people recommended me that were in the band, and I auditioned. It was surprisingly very similar to a normal band. I just had to audition for two people. I auditioned for the music director and then for our late great founder, creator, Paul O'Neill, and both of those went well, and I was offered the job, and it's been a great thing in my life. I mean, I'm just so grateful to be a part of TSO. The whole process, everything about it, I enjoy.
You mentioned Paul O'Neill, and I know that you said at some point that every note can be seen as a tribute when you talk about Paul O'Neill. True? Is that still to this day?
He's always on our minds. You know, as a musician, you got to love Paul. Here's a guy who came up with this concept that I'm sure a lot of people were rolling their eyes and thinking, scratching their heads going, you really think that's going to sell out arenas? And often we end up selling the arena out twice in one day, as it turns out. But comes up with this, puts his heart and soul behind it, everything he had into Trans-Siberian Orchestra to make it a holiday tradition for people. That was his vision. And to see that come to fruition is awesome. And as a musician, you can always relate to people like that, because at some point in time, we needed to make the choice between having a normal job and living like normal people, or making noise with a guitar with 6 strings on it for a living. And so, and most people go, you really think you're going to do well at that? So you just, as a musician, you have a way of relating to Paul O'Neill and just how he went about it. And not just that, but it was the way he believed in all of us. Paul really, he loved us, and he believed in us probably more than we believed in ourselves at times. He would tell me things about myself. I go, gee, you really think that? And I was like, gosh, I can't let him down. I got to go out there and do a good job, man. That's what he thinks. So, no, what a great guy, and we miss him dearly. He's always in our hearts and minds, and we're just trying to do him proud. And I think it's really awesome. I think we are at that point now where we're ingrained in North American holiday culture. I mean, it's not just the successful touring. Obviously, we're one of the top Billboard and Polestar tours every year, but how well the streaming is doing of the music, and obviously how well the album themselves sold. But you watch TV, you see us on commercials.
Yeah.
You watch a sporting event, you hear us going out to commercial. It's cool to be a part of something like that. That's really just become part of the holiday culture in North America, at least.
I want to hear about, because, and we'll explain, if there's somebody out there that really does not know who Trans-Siberian Orchestra is, we'll explain what that experience is like. But for you, I want to hear, Joel, that first time that you went out and played professionally with TSO, and what that experience was like for you.
I was really nervous. I mean, there's a lot of people involved in Trans-Siberian Orchestra. In my initial year, there was a whole lot of people telling me, try this, try this, try this, try this, try this. And, the whole lot of voices trying to help you. I mean, they were all trying to help. I'm not trying to make it out like it was a bad thing. Everybody was trying to help you along the way when it was your first year in there. And it's just such a unique show and fan base, and it was a learning experience for me getting in, for sure, and I was extremely nervous. I mean, I'm nervous basically every single time I play on a stage, period. I'm just that type of performer and that type of guy. But
it's okay, because you care. That's what makes you nervous, is that you care about it. It's not just, you're not just standing up there. I mean, you care about it, and it's more anxious, I bet, than it is nervous. You're just anxious, I'll bet.
Not a therapist, mind you. I don't know, but I'm just saying, But I feel like that it is because you care about it, and that's why you get a little excited, nervous about it.
I do care a lot about it. I take it very seriously. I mean, we have a great time out there, and the rapport is fantastic amongst the band. I mean, we joke around a lot and have a great time. But in terms of the job itself and the standards that are there, and I think, too, just owing it to the fans, every band owes it to the fans these days, especially the way things are these days when somebody buys tickets to an event. It's not exactly the way it used to be when I was a kid, where you're plunking down $15 for a ticket to go see somebody. So, we want to give everybody their hard-earned money's worth when they come in, and we want them walking away like Paul's vision was. He wanted them to leave the arena with their mouth open going, I can't believe what I just saw. What an experience. And I mean, you've obviously seen the band, and you know that the experience is very unique. It's not really like any kind of typical show. And I guess I should kind of fill people in. I mean, those that haven't seen TSO, there's a story on the front half of the show, and it's a bit of, I guess what you call like a rock opera in a sense, although that sounds too serious and operatic. But basically, there's a story on the front half, and this year that's The Ghost of Christmas Eve, and that's musically a best of or greatest hits, if you will. So great opportunity if you haven't seen us to come out and hear the songs that have made us who we are and put us on the map. And then the second half is a little bit more of a freewheeling rock concert that focuses on the magnitude of the production. And in addition to, we'd like to think we're enjoyable to listen to and play well, et cetera, but also we're fantastic to look at. The production is incredible. We have a video wall the width of the arena. We've got a Pink Floyd-esque laser light show happening, pyrotechnics like you wouldn't believe, moving hydraulic lifts that the performers play on and are sometimes out over the audience, and certainly in the back of the arena we have lifts as well, so not really a bad seat in the house. We often run through the crowd and go right up to you and play and hand you a guitar pick, etc., to the kids, and it snows indoors. Come on, what's not to like about that?
You're right. You're absolutely right. There's nothing you won't like about it. It is just truly amazing, and you've explained it better than I ever could. This fantastic holiday tradition for us as TSO is making their way back here to Indianapolis at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and they'll be there December 4th, one night only, 7 p.m., trans-siberian.com for tickets. And then joining us right now is Joel Hoekstra. It's got to be cool for you guys, I think, to see the generations of families that make Trans-Siberian Orchestra part of their Christmas year after year.
Yeah, that's something that's very, very unique. And that also gets back to my initial learning process about being in the band. But this is a show that appeals to all ages because you have the story on the front half. We tend to have families sometimes 3 generations deep. And the older people, they love the story because it puts them in the holiday spirit. And then you've got the kids who are just like, they're loving the video and the pyro and the lasers and all the action. And they think, oh, that's so cool. And then you've got guys like in my demographic, like, hey, this is a rock concert, man. I'm into this. This is cool. And not like a normal rock concert. It's a very unique rock concert. So that was part of Paul's vision, just bringing people together. Hence the name, the Trans-Siberian Railway was what brought the most cultures together. Paul pictured this as an escape for everybody, something that brought people together despite our differences. So we try and celebrate that. But yeah, to get back to when I started, I remember, I was in Night Ranger at the time, and I was used to making my scowling rock faces when I was playing, kind of grimacing. And one day I kind of realized I was making a face like that. I looked down and saw a little kid looking at me and thought, I'm probably scaring that kid. Like, what am I doing? I got to lighten things up a little bit. So which thankfully worked out pretty nice because in the old days I used to just kind of smile a lot when I played. And so I adapted a little bit more of that persona or allowed that to come back out with TSO. So just try to take it a little more like, hey, this is a friendly situation here. I'm not trying to grandparents, that's for sure.
For the first time since COVID, TSO is bringing back a fan favorite tradition. Speaking of traditions, the TSO signing line, and I'm assuming that as you've done in the past, this is also part of a charitable mission when you come to a town, and that at least $1 from every ticket sold goes back here to Indianapolis, and you've given us tens of millions of dollars when it comes to charitable work that you do in each of the cities. I'm sure that's still part of the show.
Yeah, we're we're very excited to have the signing line back. One of the greatest things about TSO is our connection to our fan base that are so dedicated, and we want to be able to reward people by coming through and being able to chat with the band, take a picture with us, have us sign something, etc. So that's after every evening show. So, and yes, as you mentioned, Paul O'Neill set it up so $1 from every ticket sold goes to local charities, and so now over the years we've been able to get over $20 million to local charities through doing this. So that's definitely a feather in our cap.
It sure is, and we're grateful for it. Every one of your stops grateful for it. All right, TSO's The Ghosts of Christmas Eve. Tickets are on sale today. Back in Indy at Gamebridge Fieldhouse, December 4th. One night only. And for tickets, go to trans-siberian.com. Joel, thank you. Thanks for coming back and for raising money for charity here in Indy and for also making us part of your Christmas tradition, too. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time out to chat today and helping us get the word out. Appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you.
All right, it is 12:33. We've got some news coming up for you. In fact, I hope that we will get an update for you on the multiple victims in Michigan church shooting that happened. Buildings on fire. Shooter is down, but we've got the latest for you coming up after the break on 93 WIBC.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat.
Detroit. Police say there was no ongoing threat to the public. This, as 3 people are dead, 8 others hurt after a mass shooting at a waterfront restaurant in Southport, North Carolina last night. 40-year-old suspect Nigel Max Edge is now in custody. The federal government, meantime, just 3 days away from another possible partial shutdown. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer on NBC's Meet the Press says Republicans may be worried. He'll see how the talks go.
I think they felt the heat, and they now want to sit down. But the fundamental question hasn't been answered yet, and we'll see on Monday. Are they serious about negotiating with us in a real way?
America's listening to Fox News.
Here on a beautiful Sunday. Thank you so much for joining us here on the first day. Terri Stacy, Denny Smith, Kielynn Talley. It's time for our first day show and tell.
Look what the dog drug in.
Ethan Hatcher is here from Saturday Nights on the Circle.
Hey, if it's going to be anything, Denny, it's a cat. I am a cat man.
Okay,
Look at the cat drag.
I look at the cat drag.
Get it straight.
All right.
He brings
Point
his show
taken.
and tell. He's a dealer. No, he's an antique guy. He loves antiques. He loves his history. He's an enthusiast. And he brings us good things to look at because I love history. And so if you're watching on YouTube, you can see what Ethan has brought us today. Hi, my friend.
Hello.
How are you?
I am excellent, Terry. Thanks for
Beautiful.
having me on the show. I always am excited to bring you new goodies to show.
Is that a projector?
No, this is a teeny tiny matchstick dispenser. It would have sat at a grocery wholesaler at the turn of the century. And I love how everyday objects were just elevated to a higher art form. Everything was given honor and status.
Remember when we had
simple things like this.
we had toothpick dispensers at restaurants?
This is even fancier than that because those toothpick dispensers you got to twist yourself.
Yeah.
Check this out, Denny.
All right.
There we go.
Oh, let me look. Okay.
Pulled out I'll pull out another one.
Okay.
Pull out.
Doing the little lever.
And then it fetches
that's
another
so
one and
fun.
it dispenses it
So
right for
does
you.
it have
So
a
it's ready
mainspring? Do you have to
go.
wind it up?
You just push down the lever right here, like so, and then it's ready to go.
To those of you that can't see it, describe it what it looks like to those listening.
Hold on just a second. Let me get the camera on it.
It's made of metal.
It is a cast iron black box with it does resemble vaguely a toothpick dispenser, and then when you lift the top off of it, there's a little screw that keeps it in place. This is where all the matchsticks.
How old is it?
This is about 120 years old or in the vicinity at this point.
That's cool.
Right. Isn't that so?
Love it.
Like, you don't see that kind of craftsmanship in mundane objects like that these days.
It's, look, it is, there's such detail. Where'd you find it?
I found this at the Heartland Antique Festival in Richmond, Indiana, a couple of years ago. It's held every June, and I found some great stuff out there. But it began its life at the Roundy, Peckham, and Dexter Grocery Wholesalers Corporation in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And that is a company that goes all the way back to 1872, Terry, when it was founded.
You're saying you stole it?
Yes, I stole it for about $500.
Is that how much, really?
Yeah, that's how much it was. Well, it's so cool. When are you going to come off?
I agree.
Right.
I mean,
when are you going to get another one like this?
It's beautiful condition, and it really is a piece of art to me when I look at some of this stuff. It's art.
So they operated as a wholesaler from about 1872 to 1955 or thereabouts, when they ultimately transitioned into the retail market and became the Roundy's supermarket chain, which continued to be in operation until 2015, when it was officially purchased by the Kroger Corporation of Cincinnati, Ohio.
I remember the name when you said that name, Roundy's.
Yes.
And I thought, that's still around, isn't it? No,
well,
but
I think
not
it's still.
too
Well,
long
I think
ago.
I think some of the chains are still operational, but it's under different corporate ownership now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And
That's
I thought we
really
could talk a
cool.
little bit about, since it's a matchstick dispenser, we could talk a little bit about the history of matches, because this is something that a lot of people overlook. Well, think about it, Terry.
I know.
Up until the 19th century, there wasn't a portable way to start fires outside of flint and steel.
Flint and steel.
Outside of flint and
And-
steel.
and
a
charged
magnifying
cloth,
glass, which
yeah.
is something that even the Romans used. But besides that, you had to carry the fire from a fire to another fire in order to start it. But the original matchsticks were coated in white phosphorus, and this is a highly toxic, highly reactive chemical that ignites under basic friction. Have you ever seen those old like Looney Tunes cartoons where they strike a matchstick on the bottom of their shoe?
Right.
That's because it was physically possible to do with the more chemically.
Do you remember, Kielynn? Did you see that?
Yeah, I didn't
What?
know that was actually
Wait a
physically
minute.
Did you see
possible.
that?
Here's what I
Clues.
remember. I remember
Danny walking
taking
over to
a
the
matchstick and going like this on your
On your
britches.
pants.
Right. Well, you could do that.
wow.
You could do that with a white phosphorus matchstick because it is a more volatile chemical, but it has incredibly negative effects on the health. These matchstick girls who worked in matchstick factories would develop something called phossy jaw, which is a terrible disease that's caused by white phosphorus. It would seep in through the cavities in their teeth and cause their bones to rot.
Dear Lord, Ethan, this is family radio.
No, I think it's very interesting. He's like a history book.
Well, it became.
I agree.
He's
so-
like Quincy.
He's like Quincy. That's fantastic. I had no idea. Never even knew of that story.
It's because white phosphorus would react with their when they would breathe with the moisture vapor and the carbon dioxide in the air, and then it would seep in through their
man.
jones. It blocks osteoblasts in the body.
I was going to say that.
And so the bone tissue that regenerates more quickly, like your jawbone, will be affected first. And the only way to take care of that is to rip the affected bone out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
what a horrible
yeah,
thing.
terrible stuff.
What a
We
terrible
continued
thing.
to use white phosphorus matches up until the 1930s in the United States, even though it was known as far back as 1856, I think, that this white phosphorus was bad stuff. And they developed the more chemically stable, refined red phosphorus, which is what we use on matches today. And the red phosphorus is not on the matchstick itself.
No.
It's on the striker.
Oh.
It's bits of pulverized glass and red phosphorus, and that's what makes the ignition.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it turns red phosphorus chemically into white phosphorus when you strike it on the strike surface.
He's gonna burn the studio
No,
down.
I love the
blew it
smell
out.
of it. He blew
Kylie,
it out.
we're safe.
And
We're
I
safe.
like
It won't
the
even
smell
set
of
off a fire alarm.
I like the smell of a burnt.
Thankfully, Denny's a fire marshal too. A pilot, a fire marshal, financial advisor.
Ethan, we just have a couple minutes. Great story. You bought something really cool, what, a week ago? 2 weeks ago?
Oh, you're talking about another one of my phonographs.
Got
I went
another
down to
phonograph.
Columbus, Ohio.
He loves these things. They're
I
beautiful.
got about 50 of them.
Is that how many?
They're all different sizes. Some of them are itty bitty, no
gosh.
bigger than this matchstick dispenser, and some of them are console sized or larger.
Yeah.
So they're all different sizes and makes, and that's part of what makes collecting phonographs fun. But yeah, what you're talking about is the Edison Diamond Disc Jacobian art case model.
I was going to say that too.
I know, Denny.
And it wasn't a commercially popular model. It was one of their worst sellers, which is what makes it rare today. And that's why I went
I love it.
pop down to Ohio and snapped that
It's
up.
super cool. He
I love
finds the
collecting
coolest
all kinds
thing.
of antiques,
Where are you going
Derek.
next? Or what are you looking for next? Anything?
Well, I have my eye on a little tin mechanical scarab beetle that was made by the Marks Toy Company, and that's being sold in Ohio. But I just don't have the spare cash lying around these days.
Have you talked to
I'm
Uncle
a poor
Denny?
boy. Do what?
Uncle Denny's bank, right next to you.
Oh yeah,
That's the guy.
He's got me a loan to float. What's the interest rate?
Ethan Hatcher. He always gives me the look. And I think I got a finger with that one that time, Denny.
It was a pointer finger.
Ethan Hatcher with Saturday Nights on the Circle. Thank you, my friend. It's so fun to have you here with First Day Show and Tell.
Thank you.
Food news coming up next. 93 WIBC.
Join us
28th night of September. Do you like that? The 28th night of September? I love her so much.
It's just
She's
Taylor.
too precious. It is.
Taylor Swift.
I had to mention it because coming up this week is her release party for her new album, The Life of a Showgirl, and there's plenty happening. Theaters are going to be hosting her music video and film specials across AMC Regal, Alamo Drafthouse, the Living Room Theaters, so many other things. October 3rd. And then release party events at your local coffee shops, plenty of different things around Indianapolis. And then, to begin our food news, Funfetti, the company, right?
You can't make that up.
They're releasing...
This is food news, everybody. That's Kielynn. I'm Terry. That's Denny. Also, here's Ethan Hatcher.
Food, glorious food.
I missed the song.
Funfetti
I'm so sorry.
is releasing Taylor Swift-inspired sourdough bread mix.
Oh,
and
there you
that
go.
kicks off our food news.
Oh, we were so impatient. We wanted to hear the song first. She had a whole plan. We didn't talk about it in the pre-race show.
Oh,
wow. She is an entertainer.
I like what you do.
We
I always like what you do. So the sourdough, I know when she mentioned she had been making sourdough when she appeared with her now fiance in the podcast.
New Heights.
I know that the search for sourdough starter was like up 3,000% on search.
It's ridiculous.
We have a lady
Google
on our street, Little Eagle Creek Avenue, who sells sourdough on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Aww.
She sets up a little tent and people.
She sells the bread, or she sells the starters.
No, she sells the bread.
It's good. It's best bread for you. Sourdough is the best bread for you.
It's really good for you. Some food news for you. I want to say a heartfelt goodbye to Fountain Square's A Cup of Chai. They had their going out of business sale yesterday, but it continues today until 2 p.m. if you want to stop by and buy any of their furniture or decor, or even just say farewell. Head over to A Cup of Chai.
I honest to God thought you were saying goodbye to us.
Oh, no.
My heart just sank. I thought she's leaving us.
I'm so sorry to freak you out like that.
Wow.
No. I mean, she's Wisp the Witch right now at the zoo.
On other side of things, there are some openings. Silver Linings in Beech Grove is officially reopened. The Clubhouse, the new one from the owners of Pots and Pans, is having their grand opening next Saturday, October 4th. They're going to have a little pumpkin patch, dog doodles, live music, even a dog costume contest. Denny, Terry, you need to dress up your dog and head over there.
We'll go over there.
The Clubhouse. It's off of the Monon.
When?
Next Saturday.
Okay, good.
October 4th. And then today is National Drink Beer Day, but I'm sure you're going to be having plenty of that during your Colts game later today. So I want to spotlight tomorrow's special day, National Coffee Day. I think it's perfect for a Monday. It's going to be a long day, but that's okay. We're going to talk a little bit about some food deals. And, you can't recreate the smell of coffee unless you're there, but we'll try with a little bit of ambience. How about that?
Okay.
A little ambience.
What are you thinking?
A little coffee shop ambience.
Oh,
all right.
I do like the sound of a coffee shop. I wish
Some
I could
coffee
smell
deals for you. Krispy Kreme, my favorite, is going literal with the Cup of Joe. They're having free medium, hot or iced Cup of Joe and any donut. They're partnering with Joe Jonas for it. And then if you want to be nice, you can get a $1 dozen deal. Buy any dozen of donuts and get the second glazed dozen for just $1 and share with your coworkers or the family, however that turns out for you. Smoothie King, they have a free 20-ounce almond mocha or pumpkin coffee high-protein smoothie, and that one is free. You just show up in store, you show them that you have a corporate coffee shop app like Starbucks, Dunkin'. You literally just show them that you have a coffee app, and they'll give you the smoothie for free. Moving on, if you're going to be a gas station visitor tomorrow, I'm sure you will be, because Terry says that Mondays are the best day to get gas. Yeah?
I agree. Before Wednesday. Wednesday, it feels like it goes up.
Circle K and your loyalty members there, you can get a free medium hot or iced coffee. Pilot, if you have the app, you can get any size hot coffee. They have some pretty cool flavors to choose from. They've got their fall menu, bourbon pecan, pumpkin spice cappuccino.
I like that.
And then Casey's, if you're a rewards member there, you can get free any size hot cup of their Casey's Darn Good coffee.
They are growing with their pizza business.
A lot of the Circle K's have been sold.
And it's
I think they're bought by Mapco. So a lot of the Circle K's are now Mapco.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
But I'll tell you what, we got a Wawa that moved in, and they opened their doors last Friday. And people spent the night with their lawn chairs waiting for the free T-shirt when they opened on Friday morning.
Wawa, the new Buc-ee's.
I went. I love gas station food.
You like
Give it a
the
try.
roller. You like the roller cooker for all the hot dogs
I
and
got
sausages.
taquitos.
Yeah.
But I do want to mention, with all of these many different corporate coffee shops.
Oh,
We
yeah,
want to
it's coffee.
spotlight local coffee shops as well, because here in the central Indiana area, local coffee shops outnumber Starbucks locations, and that's what we're going to feature on today's food news tasting for today. Terry, you've got
It's
got
delicious.
a couple things
I
to
love
choose
a
from.
cold coffee, and you brought us what?
We've got the campfire chai. It's
That's good.
iced. It's got a blackberry, marshmallow, and cinnamon taste to it with a shot of espresso.
All of those, I tasted them. That's
Yes,
really good.
The blackberry was really nice and fruity.
The campfire chai is the best.
I do love that.
Campfire chai
That's
is
your
really
cold
good.
drink.
And then on the hot drink, we've got a cozy pumpkin, a pumpkin latte with warm brown
Nothing
butter
says
syrup.
cozy like a
Grab that
pumpkin.
one.
And this
I
is
didn't like
all
it.
from
The warm
Foundry
one?
Provisions.
Yeah.
Where's it from?
You can have it.
Foundry Provisions.
Okay, where
They're
are
over on 16th Street.
Okay.
Up Delaware, I believe. If you wear Cold Scare today, you can get 10% off of your order. That's what I did. Well, I
Wait a
wore
minute.
Fever, and
Yes,
then
fair.
I threw a Colts jersey on top. Yeah. Head over to Foundry Provisions if you want to try that. And then the final food news for you is that Tinker Coffee and Company and Coat Check Coffee are both in the running for US Today's search for the best independent coffee shop. You can go
Don't
vote for
you
them
love that?
until Monday, October 20th.
Good job, Kai.
Lots
Good
going
job.
on.
Hey,
there's
and
some
enjoy every
music.
bit of it.
We got to go.
Happy National Coffee Day tomorrow.
Thank you for the drinks, Kielynn. We appreciate it. Thanks to all of our guests today. Ethan, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Denny, thanks for coming in for free again.
You bet.
Have a great rest of your day. Go Colts, go
You betcha.
Fever. We'll talk to you next week.
Mark Dietel is the only local real estate agent I'd trust to sell my house here in